my loves, and welcome back to my channel. Today's video, we have a new pick a card reading all about Spirit's message that is meant to find you right now. This is everything that Spirit wants you to know going into this next year. This is what Spirit wants you to know so that you can have the best year ahead of you, and this is going to be hopefully a very deep, life-changing type of message. And this is for your highest good at this time. We're asking Spirit to bring information for your highest good right now. So basically how this video works, I have 4 different groups in front of me. We have group number 1 with this Angel Aura Quartz on the top, group number 2 with the Sunset Aura Quartz, group number 3 with the Aqua Aura Quartz, and then group number 4 with this piece of Amethyst. You can take a moment, pause the video if you need to, in order to find the pile that you are the most drawn towards, because that's going to be the group that holds the message that Spirit wants to bring you today, all about your next year ahead. So take a moment again, pause the video if you need to, take all the time that you need to find the pile that calls to you the most, because that's going to be the pile that has Spirit's message that's meant for you right now. There's going to be timestamps linked down below in the comment box as well as the description box so that you can skip right ahead to your personal reading that's going to reveal Spirit's message for you. So thank you so much for joining me here today, and I will see you in your reading. Let's go ahead and dive right in. All right, my group number 1s, if you chose this pile, let's dive into Spirit's message that's meant for you right now. Okay, my group 1, Spirit's message for you for this year, 9 of Cups. Wow. Okay, first off, Spirit wants you to know that you are fully capable of achieving some of your biggest dreams this year, if not honestly, all of them. The 9 of Cups is the wish card in tarot, and it indicates a wish coming true. So if you're full of doubt, or if you're just wondering, if you're questioning like, okay, am I actually capable of that? Will that actually happen? Will it come true? Am I worthy of that? Spirit wants you to know right now, you are absolutely worthy of that. You are absolutely capable of achieving what it is that you've been thinking about, dreaming about, wishing, and wanting. This is literally the card of achieving that and getting that wish. So Spirit wants you to know that yes, you are capable of that. If you just started working on something like a project or an idea, if you started taking action towards something, maybe you want something to happen in your love life, within your family life, your home life, your career life, oh my goodness, you have all the potential to make that happen. And right now, I feel like there's this flow of energy that's happening where you're being maybe called to take certain action. Take those actions, especially if you feel inspired to do so, and put your best foot forward. Take all of that energy, all of that desire, and pour it into taking action, doing the things that you need to in order to achieve this, because it's right there, my group 1s. It is right there. Let's see what else Spirit wants you to know right now. I feel like these 2 cards want to come out. We have the High Priestess, the Knight of Wands being reversed, and then 3 of Swords being reversed. And then I also feel like these 2 cards want to come out. Let's see what we got for you. We also have the 2 of Pentacles being reversed, and then the 4 of Cups being reversed as well. Okay, 4 of Cups is actually amazing to be in the reversed position, and let's talk about what all of this is. So the High Priestess can indicate that we are really thinking about something right now, cultivating something, and perhaps this is like a secret that we have, or we're not really talking about it much. And Spirit's advice for you right now, also going into 2024, is to not talk about all of these ideas that you have. Instead, just do it. Just take action towards it. The High Priestess doesn't reveal what she has going on. She's the opposite of like all talk, no action. Instead, the High Priestess is all action, no talk. It's like, let's just do it and let's let our actions prove themselves. And it's also the planning and figuring out stage. So this is listening to your intuition when it comes to how you take action and how you figure things out. There could be some like unknowns in your life right now, some things that maybe you're wondering about and you're like, how do I do that? Or or I need more information, more ideas, more this, more that in order to make these things happen. Maybe you're looking for the how. You're looking for more of like, how is this going to happen? What do I need to do? Those answers are coming in time. And you'll also notice that a lot of these answers, they're going to come from your own intuition. They're going to come from your own inner wisdom and your own inner knowledge. I feel like you know what you need to do deep down inside. And if you tap more into that inner trust, this is that inner trust, right? Trusting yourself. Instead of doubting, instead of thinking like, oh no, I need somebody else's advice, or let me go ask this person, let me go research endlessly to figure out what other people are doing, which, is also beneficial. But the high priestess is more of trusting your own inner knowing and trusting your own uniqueness, because everyone else has a different path in life. I feel like you're a really unique person and your path is going to be unique. So listen to yourself. Right? This is cultivating more of that inner trust, and Spirit wants you to do that in this next year, because that's going to be one of the secret keys to achieving these goals that you have is having that inner trust in yourself, right? And this is also respect for yourself as well. So when it comes to, let's say you're manifesting a relationship, the high priestess does not let just anyone into her garden. She has certain boundaries, she has certain expectations, and she does not lower those expectations, okay? So if you're manifesting love, it's like, don't lower those expectations and allow people in who aren't matching exactly what it is that you want. Don't settle for less. And that goes for manifesting anything, even when it's manifesting a career, or if you're manifesting the perfect home, or like whatever it is that you want and desire. The high priestess has certain expectations, and she does not allow people to cross those boundaries. So boundaries is going to be a big thing for you in 2024 as well, and not settling for less. If there's different opportunities that come up for you and they're not quite what it is that you wanted, this is about knowing your worth and knowing that it's worth the wait to say no to the things that, maybe they're kind of there, maybe they're like halfway there, but it's like, no, let's not settle for that. Let's not settle for the things that aren't actually what we want, because that's acting out of a place of fear, like a fear that, oh, what if another opportunity doesn't come along? Or what if this is the best that it's going to get? No, the high priestess, again, she knows her worth and she's willing to wait for the best. The 9 of Cups, she's willing to wait for all the cups. She doesn't settle for just 4 cups. Like, look at the difference here, okay? Like, she's not settling for just half. She doesn't even settle for just 60%. She doesn't settle for 70%, 80%. She waits until it's all there before she says yes to something, before she pursues something. She waits until it meets her expectations. She waits till it's something that's, what she actually wants, but she's also willing to take action, right? The Knight of Wands being reversed. Sometimes this is like waiting to take action. Instead of just hopping onto the first opportunity, this is waiting for the right thing to come along, not investing yourself into something that's just half of what you want. Not half-assing something either. So when you're building something, when you're creating something, when you're cultivating something, let's not just put half effort in. Let's wait. Let's have patience. Okay, so this is a card, patience, 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 not rushing. Knight of Wands being reversed, this is that rushing type of energy. We're trying to rush to the goal, and so we're like, let me just settle for this thing that came because it's like at least 70% way there. Let me just settle for that because it's like we're too impatient to wait for what we actually deserve. We're too impatient to take our time to make something fully worthwhile. Right? If you take your time on something, it's going to turn out way better. So rather than rushing to get something done just because you want it to get done, or saying yes to something that's only halfway there, no, like Spirit's advice, nuh-uh, we're not doing that this year. We're going for what we truly want, okay? That's Spirit's first advice here. 3 of Swords being reversed. Let go of fear and doubt around these things. You've probably had failures in the past, or you've probably had different experiences in the past where things didn't turn out the way that you wanted them to. And perhaps that's clouding your judgment moving into the future, because now you're like, okay, should I just settle for less because I've had those experiences before where I regretted, not taking a certain opportunity and then nothing else came out in the future. But it's like, we have to have that patience to fully wait it out. We have to have that patience to know what we are worth and wait for the best possible thing to come our way, waiting for something that's, truly what we want. And that way we have no regrets of like, I should have worked harder on that thing, or I should have been more patient so I could have actually achieved the thing that I fully wanted, right? That's Four of Cups being reversed as well. Because here she's so impatient and she's just settling for these things that she doesn't even want, and then she's bored with them. She doesn't fully like it. She's not proud of it. She's almost frustrated because she's like, okay, well, I rushed these things, or I just jumped in too fast and now I'm not actually happy. But we have to have patience to wait for the goal, to wait for the thing that we actually want. And when this card is reversed, that's us taking the true opportunity that we want. We're changing our perspective, setting up those proper boundaries, having that patience, and willing to uphold those boundaries, because the two pillars right here, it's like the Temple of Solomon, and she's kind of guarding the gates. And so she's guarding the gates of her temple. She knows what she wants and she guards the gates, and anything that comes along, she's like evaluating, is that matching what I am waiting for? If no, okay, so long, goodbye. That's not on the same page. She has that patience, okay? And those boundaries. The Two of Pentacles being reversed, perhaps like there's certain things where this could be a card that indicates weighing your options or being really busy with a lot of different things going on. So perhaps this next year you have a lot on your plate. Maybe you're really busy handling a lot of different things. A message that would be in here is to prioritize finding balance in your life. Prioritize learning how to manage your time and schedule things and say no when you need to, in order to, not say yes to all these things that aren't fully meaningful for you, or maybe aren't truly what you want. Like, this is a card that says have the courage to say no. Have the courage to let some things go out of your life that are not fully what you want anymore. Have the courage to say no. Have the courage to let go so that you can find balance again. So that you can feel strong and sturdy and be proud of what you're holding up. To say, yep, these are the things that I want to hold up, and I have all the energy to sustain these things because I love these things, I'm passionate about these things, and they're worthwhile to me. This is also having relaxation plus productivity, balancing those two things. Okay, when she's reversed, she's maybe not entirely super proud of maybe what she's creating. She has a few things on her schedule that she's like, it's not fully what I want to do. And I have to do that, I have to do that. And life is full of a little bit of those things once in a while. That's why we have balance, right? But sometimes we need to let some things go if we're out of balance. Sometimes we need to learn how to say no to certain things so that we can come back to a place of balance. And that's that. So let's dive into some more cards for you. So the next ones that we also have the Alchemist coming out. So the light attributes of the Alchemist is transformation of base motives and goals into golden wisdom. This is being able to see what is your true purpose. I think part of you is seeking to find more of your true purpose this year and wanting to do things that feel so good to you. Alchemizing your life, taking things that, maybe didn't turn out that good in the past and realizing that that's actually amazing that those things didn't turn out. Because now we have the ability to take that situation that maybe disappointed us in the past and alchemize that, transform that into a blessing that's bringing us to something way better. I think that your life right now, you're manifesting something that's way better than your previous expectations. Okay? Diving into the next card, we also have Advocate. Inspires you to put compassion into action. Taking action. What do you stand for as well? That's an interesting message that's coming up that might mean something to you. We also have hero and heroine, passion for a journey of personal empowerment. Shadow attribute, I feel like reading this one, escapism and false sense of heroism. Escapism. In your life, are there certain things that you kind of want to run from or escape from? And instead, how can we find passion for a journey of personal empowerment? How can we empower ourselves so much that we don't want to escape from our life? We're just so excited for the journey that we have. Like, there's such a difference there. Some people want to escape their life because they're not entirely happy with it. And so they live their life feeling like, oh, when is my next break? When is my next time that I get to escape? When is the next time that I get to, forget about the life that I have? But instead, how can we build a passion for our life? How can we build a life that we're so in love with, that it empowers us? Okay, next card that we have the Gambler card. This one says willingness to follow intuition even when others doubt you. Oh, that's hitting the money right there. Okay, and then the shadow attribute, relying on luck rather than hard work. Whew. Action is necessary. Taking action, making moves is necessary to get anywhere in life. So don't rely on luck. Don't rely on like, oh, it's just going to be easy. I'm just going to get there. Take action. That's one of Spirit's biggest messages right now, is take action. And then also willingness to follow your own intuition, willingness to follow your own dreams, even when others doubt you, even when others think like, okay, you're just like dreaming big there. That'll never happen for you. Who are you to want that? Who are you to go for that? No. If you have a dream and desire, maybe keep it to yourself. Be like the high priestess, keep it to yourself, because you don't want to be talking about things and then have people just doubt you, or have people express all of their own insecurities, all of their own limitations onto your dreams and desires. Sometimes it's better to just stay silent about them and take silent action and be like, you know what, I'm building this, and I'm not going to necessarily go out and flaunt it or talk about it, because I don't want other people's opinions and doubts and fears to cloud my own life, my own decisions. Okay? So, having total trust and faith in yourself. And we even started off with that card that was about, you can do it. Spirit's even giving you that encouragement and saying, yes, that is 100% possible for you. But first you need to get out of your own way. Stop caring what other people think. Don't let other people's opinions cloud your own journey. Let's go on the journey just for you, okay? And next couple cards that we have here. Dakini, the enlightened feminine. My gut instinct is wise beyond reason. I trust my intuition to guide me. We have another card talking about that same thing that we were just discussing. And then we also have the morning star. My ego is in service of my soul, and I trust my soul's divine timing. Okay, so your ego is in service to your soul. Your ego is the place where all of our desires kind of tend to come from, our identity and the different things that we want in life. But when we can marry that with our soul, right? So for example, if you want a particular career, your ego might want that because your ego is like, ooh, that would make me feel successful, and that would make me feel powerful, or whatever it is. And then marry that with your soul and realize that your soul maybe wants to bring things to the world, have a deep purpose where you feel like you are giving to the world. But when you can marry those two things and say, okay, yeah, my ego wants that experience for my ego's sense of self, but my spirit, my soul might want that because of it would feel so purposeful to help others, something like that. And then trusting in your soul's divine timing. And marrying those two things, realizing the bigger purpose that you have behind your desires. That can be a powerful motivation. Okay, anyway, gut instinct is wise beyond reason. I trust my intuition to guide me. You have desires for a reason, my love. You weren't just given desires for the universe to like mock you. You were given desires because your soul came here wanting to experience life. Okay, so don't doubt in your desires. Next couple cards that we have Oracle and Enchanter. So magnetize, open, reveal, manifest, and then lead, ask, listen, trust. 2024, Spirit wants you to step up into a leader position. Lead your own life. Don't let fear hold you back. Don't let other people's opinions and reasons hold you back. Trust in yourself. Ask yourself. You have that inner oracle within you. That's your intuition. Listen to that. And then ask yourself those questions. Listen to how your own inner intuition responds. Enchanter, so magnetize, open, reveal, manifest. Both of these cards are about manifesting your goals and having that inner wisdom to help guide you to manifesting that. Next few cards that we have for you, we have passion, doing things that you're passionate about. Also angel number 11, you're also group number 1. So ones might be following you around a lot. You might notice that whenever you look at the clock, it's like 1111 or 111, or maybe you see license plates of cars driving by and it's like 111, whatever. You might start seeing this number around, and this is the number of a new beginning and cultivating a manifestation. Stepping into a new identity, creating a new version of yourself. That's what ones are all about. It's also about being unique, not necessarily just trying to fit in. This is a card of being unique and embracing your uniqueness. Not being afraid to stand out of the crowd, to stand separately. Because the one, they're a little bit more alone, but it's because they're not afraid to stand separately. It doesn't mean that they don't have people around them. They're not alone in that sense, but they're not afraid to do things on their own. They are the leader. That's the energy of the number 1. And I feel like you are going into the energy of number 1, which is probably why you're attracted to the first pile of the group, because you have a lot of 1 energy with you right now. Again, that's being a leader, not being afraid to do it on your own. Not being afraid to be different, to stand out, to be unique, to be yourself, and not caring about what other people think about that. Ones don't care about what other people think about that. One stands on its own by itself, and it's okay doing that. Okay? Again, and I'm not saying you're going to be alone by any means, but this is also just having that own inner courage, that inner confidence to be on your own, to stand out, to be unique, to be a leader, and all of that. So diving into our next couple cards, we also have abundance. Again, this is that capability of achieving, having all of that inner potential to achieve that abundance. Maybe you're wanting to have more success this year, make more money, feel more secure. Maybe having abundance of friends, abundance of love, abundance of passion. All of these things are so, like, you're so capable of these things, but it comes through being a leader, being unique, allowing your uniqueness to shine, not feeling like you need to hide any parts of yourself or do things to try to fit in, and all of that, okay? Then we also have courage. The courage to stand alone, the courage to do things on your own. If you've had like fear or doubt, again, stand in the way at any point in time. All of these are just talking about being a leader, stepping up into that inner courage, that inner trust, and manifesting those desires. So that brings us to nearly the end of this reading. We're also going to take our Astro Dice. We're going to roll this to get any last information for you. So let's see what Spirit has to say. Pluto, which is the planet of transformation. We also have that being in the 9th house in the zodiac sign of Cancer. So Pluto in Cancer in the 9th house. Having compassion for yourself, compassion to expand, and compassion for yourself to grow. Coming out of your shell. Cancer, the crab, kind of tends to be a little bit more of a hermit energy, but the 9th house is the opposite of that. So when we have Pluto being in Cancer in the 9th house, this is being willing to come out of your previous shell, to allow yourself to expand, even though it can be a little bit scary. Maybe you have a desire to be in the spotlight a little bit more. Maybe you have a particular desire to reveal something or come out with something, or to start a new idea or a new journey or a new venture. And perhaps it's stepping outside of what's familiar to you, stepping outside of your comfort zone. And this is the year to do that. And Spirit's big message is the way to get to your desire is by pursuing that and stepping onto that path and continuing to move forward. And even though it's unfamiliar, even though it's different, it's navigating it and having that courage to take that journey. So that is what we have here for you. Thank you so much for joining me here, my group number ones. And just a little announcement, we did come out again with some brand new charmed bracelets on LunaGem, which is like my favorite style we've ever had. I am absolutely, like, literally obsessed with this new style. If you like any of these bracelets, we sell all of them on LunaGem. These hand-beaded bracelets, we make them according to your wrist size. They're made with high-quality gold fill, so they will not tarnish. They are absolutely amazing. And again, our new styles just came out, which I'm totally in love with. This new, like, satellite design. So all the information for that will be linked down below if you are interested, and I will see you in another future reading. Bye, my loves. All right, my group threes, if you chose this pile, this is going to be your reading all about Spirit's message for you for this next year. So let's go ahead and dive right in. All right, my loves, let's see what we get for you. We have 8 of Cups coming out right at first. 8 of Cups is leaving behind something that's no longer satisfying for you. What in your life is no longer bringing fulfillment? It's no longer bringing passion or excitement. And this is having the courage to go seek something else, to go find another path. What is no longer satisfying you in your life? And this is time to have that courage to let it go and to go seek another path. And sometimes, you know, it can be hard to leave certain things behind. Like, let's say that it's a job that we're no longer satisfied with. Sometimes it's hard to just, like, you know, quit and then have nothing while we go seek to find something, because it's like, well, we need financial stability and all that. But this is the card of at least going on a journey to seek something else. Going on that journey, trying to find something else, finding a way to make that transition happen, because your happiness means everything. You are here living an experience of life. Your soul, you know, this is your lifetime right now. Don't feel chained to stay stuck to something that's not giving you happiness. This is time to seek out ways in which we can create happiness and fulfillment again, okay? So maybe that's seeking, okay, how can I get the position that I actually want? Or how can I go start building something or finding something that I do love, okay? How can I start doing that? Maybe I need to go build some certain skills so I can transition into a job that I really do like. Maybe I need to go start building something on the side. Maybe I need to go start soul searching to find what it is that I like, to find what it is that resonates with me. Or perhaps it's even a relationship that maybe we're staying stuck to and we know it's not going anywhere, right? So it could also be that. But there's something in your life right now that's not really fully satisfying to you. Maybe you don't even know what you want quite yet, but this is your time to start searching for that. And Spirit's advice for you right now is to start searching for that. Okay, not letting yourself stay stuck. We also have 5 of Swords being reversed, which again is the energy of letting go of things that have been keeping you stuck. Going on a soul-searching journey to find what makes you feel successful. Having that belief in yourself. Ooh, I feel like there's going to be a lot of people cheering you on, and I think you're going to feel so happy. The 6 of Wands is this successful feeling where we feel like we're riding on our high horse and we're like, okay, I'm so glad I made this decision. This is amazing. It's also a card indicating success as well. So Spirit's saying that you do have that ability to find that success. You do have the ability to find where it is that you belong, where it is that you feel passionate, and to have that smooth, successful transition into something new and to find what truly resonates with your soul. Spirit wants you to know that yes, you're absolutely capable of that. Yes, that can happen, but you need to have that courage and that willingness to start seeking that. The 5 of Swords being reversed is no longer wanting to feel the pain and letting go of even complaining about it, because you have all the power within your hands to make this transition. You have the power. But that's not just gonna, like, you know, like, if we want to make change, it's us who's responsible for making that change. We have to do it. So the Five of Swords being reversed is letting go of feeling like life is against you and letting go of feeling like you are stuck and just complaining about where you are. If you're complaining about where you are, stop doing that. It's not going to change anything. Words don't change nothing. They don't do nothing for you. So no longer complaining about it, letting go of the pain of it and allowing that pain, because pain can actually be a good thing because it can help motivate us. It can help us see where we're not satisfied, where we're uncomfortable. And it helps us make change. It helps us give us that inner fire to be like, you know what? No, I'm not putting up with this anymore. I'm going to create some change. So realizing that you have the power to do that. And instead of using all your words, it's like, let's use action. Wands are all about action. And see, the wands is tied with the success card, whereas the thoughts, which is the swords is all mental. If we mentally feel stuck, if we're mentally just being like, oh, I want to change, I want to do this transition, or I don't like it here, I don't like it here, I don't like it here. Okay, well, that's not helping us, okay? The mentality helps us in the aspect of figuring out, do I like this, do I not like this? But then with that answer that we get, that's where we need to take action, okay? So let's dive into some more cards. Three of Wands. This is your year to seek something new. This is absolutely your year to do that and to have that courage to expand beyond. The Three of Wands indicates this energy of kind of soul searching and not being afraid to get back out there, not being afraid to go dive into that huge ocean that is yet to be explored. And this card is also a reminder that there is so much infinite possibility out there. And there's also so many examples of tons of people, no matter what time in their life, people do career changes literally in their 80s. Sometimes people have done it in their 90s. Like I've recently just met a woman who took up the hobby of painting in her 90s, and she's like nearly 100 now, and her painting is amazing. Like it's so good. And she's like, I just wanted to become a painter. And like, it's incredible. In fact, when I was looking at some of her paintings, I was like, that's not a photo? Like what? So you can do anything at any time. I don't care how old you are. I don't care how young you are. I don't care how dedicated you are to a certain path. I don't care what skills you currently have versus what you don't have. You can make a transition at any point in time. And there's infinite examples of people who have already done this to show us that yes, it's possible. Yes, you can do that. I'm pretty sure Adam Driver, who's like an insanely amazing, talented actor, did a huge career change in his life. I'm pretty sure he worked in like the military and then all of a sudden decided to become an actor or something like that. And he did that massive career change. That was a whole 180. You can do it too. And even if this deals with a relationship in your life, this might be a relationship, this might be a career change that you're thinking about, infinite possibilities. And the Three of Wands, look at the infinite vastness that they're looking at. They're looking at this infinite vastness, which for one can sometimes feel intimidating because we're like, oh my God, what do I do? Where do I go? I don't know. But the fun is within exploring that, right? The fun is within getting to explore that unknown and all those infinite possibilities. So this is your time, and Spirit is like cheering you on, like, yes, this is your time. Let's take that action. Again, wands are all about action. And look at all that wand energy that we have coming up. Your emotions, okay? The cups are the emotions. The emotions are feeling not quite satisfied. The mentality is maybe feeling a little bit really stuck and really like, oh, I don't know, because the Five of Swords also indicates there's certain fears that might come up, like, oh, what if this happens? What if that happens? Or what if, our mind can be sometimes our own worst enemy that can stand in the way of us taking action. But this is your year, my love. And Spirit came through for the information for your highest good at this time. Remember, that's the intention of this reading, is to bring in information from Spirit for your highest good at this time. So if Spirit's telling you, okay, let's start taking action, let's start exploring that, we don't need to like quit our job right now and do that, like if we still need to rely on it, but we can at least start exploring new possibilities. If it's a relationship that's no longer satisfying for us, maybe this is giving us the courage to finally like be honest with ourselves and with that person, to leave that behind so that we can free ourselves, because all of this energy is talking about your freedom and calling back your freedom. You desire to be free, my love. I can feel it through this whole reading, through this whole energy. You're desiring to feel free. And the only way to do that is to start freeing yourself, to have that courage, to not stay stuck in the questioning and the overthinking of everything. And instead, let's just start taking action. Let's start making the change, and we'll navigate it as we go, right? The Tower card as well coming up. This is time to leave the tower that's no longer satisfying us. This is kind of like giving me the vibes of the story Rapunzel. Have the courage to leave the tower. Don't stay stuck in something that's not satisfying for you. Don't stay stuck in something that you don't want to stay stuck in. This is having the courage to leave that behind, to build something new. The tower indicates that we're staying stuck. You know, we've put in all this effort to build something so far, whether this is a relationship or a career, whatever this is in your life. You've clearly put in a lot of effort to build this to where it's at now. But you're looking at it and you're like, I don't know if I want to stay there. That's okay to make a change. It is okay to change your mind. Okay? It's totally okay. You can build up a new tower, but you have to have the courage to do so, right? You have to have that courage. Is it going to bring you more satisfaction to find something that you truly love and to build something that you truly, truly love? Is that going to bring you more happiness? If so, then let's go do that, okay? Let's not live our lives staying stuck to a tower just because, oh, I built that so far, so I should stay in it. Okay, if it's not bringing you happiness, then you're doing a disservice to yourself and that thing. If you're not happy in your career, you're not going to be performing as good as somebody who would enjoy that career, and you're taking up a position that somebody else who would actually enjoy having that job, you're taking up that position and you're taking away that time from somebody else who would actually enjoy it and would probably, maybe, I'm just saying the obvious, would maybe do a better job because they would actually bring the passion to it. They would enjoy being there. Or for that person, if you're staying stuck in a relationship that you're not satisfied with, you are taking up that space for that person to find somebody who would actually enjoy being there, and you're taking up that space for yourself of finding somebody that you truly vibe with, right? So like all these things, you know, sometimes we come up with all these reasons why we should stay in something that we don't like, but all those are invalid, right? It's like we're doing a disservice to ourselves and, you know, and the rest of whatever's involved, versus when we just leave that behind and we go build something that we love. That's going to be amazing for us, and it's going to be amazing for whatever it is that we're building because we actually love it, we're passionate about it, right? So like, okay, anyway, moving on. Next card. I'm sure you got the point there. The sun also being reversed. Oh, my love. Okay, this is having that courage to have that rebirth. The sun card is about having a rebirth, but when it's reversed, it can indicate that it's like a rebirth and a rediscovery of something where, you know, we already have a lot on our plate, and it can also indicate that there's like a little bit of bittersweetness. There might be some clouds clouding the sun. It's like our soul wants us to move in another direction, but there's perhaps something that's clouding that. Perhaps something where we don't want to disappoint somebody else. We don't want to hurt somebody else's feelings. We don't want other people to just, you know, think of us in a certain way. It's like there's these certain clouds that are standing in the way, but you know, like your whole soul is calling you in a new direction. The sun card, and the sun, by the way, no matter what position it's in, whether it's upright or reversed, still indicates an amazing, beautiful energy. Okay, the sun, even when it's being clouded, it's still shining its full brightness. Okay, and that indicates so much happiness. The sun card is such a beautiful radiance. This is time for you to radiate your light, to radiate your truth. It's also a card of authenticity. This is radiating your truth and your authenticity. Okay, that's what that is. So let's go ahead and dive into some more cards. Let's see what we have for you. We have Child Eternal, which says determination to remain young in body, mind, and spirit, ability to see things with fresh eyes. So perhaps part of you is like, oh, I've already taken all this time to build this thing. This is Child Eternal, realizing that age is like literally just a number. It truly is. Age is a number. You can do anything at any point in time. But for some reason we have this like attachment to like, oh, if I've built this thing up for so long, or if I've already started this path in my life, now I'm stuck to it. No, you're not. Come back to that inner child within you that allows themselves to dream, that sees the endless possibility. I remember when I was a kid and I would see how adults would think, and I would literally be like, why do you think in such a restrictive way? And, you know, it makes sense for me as an adult now because I can see like, oh, I've had these different life experiences that have kind of made me think in a bit more of a restrictive way. But there's something so amazing to come back to that the childhood innocence that we used to have, to allow ourselves to dream again, to be able to see those possibilities, to not restrict ourselves so hard. And that's where we come back to that fun, that life. And that's that inner child, which is also like the sun card, allowing that inner child to birth back out again and be like, let's dream again. And let's realize that I don't need to be stuck to these things. I don't need to live my life in this certain way. I can dream again. I can start again, right? So that's what that is. Then our next one that we have bully. Highlights your tendency to intimidate others, helps you confront the inner fears that bully you. Oh, that's the part that's sticking out to me, is that last sentence. Helps you confront the inner fears that bully you. Okay? What is it that I feel like your own mentality has maybe been working against you with that Five of Swords, and maybe it's been holding you back and being like no, you can't do this, you can't do that. You can. Come back to that inner child that's like, let me dream again, let me expand myself, because that's that beautiful place to be, and that's where you're gonna have your amazing year where infinite potential ahead of you, you're on a whole new journey, and you're finding your success, you're finding your happiness. That's the best place to be, rather than staying in the dissatisfaction. Okay, we also have addict, helps you recognize and confront addictive behavior. I also feel like reading this area, compromises integrity and honesty, allows an addictive pattern to have authority over your inner spirit. So this could be when we are staying in a toxic relationship, or staying in a relationship that we know isn't good for us, we know is not for us, but we're scared to be alone. So we're kind of like addicted to that. It can also indicate being addicted to toxic habits, toxic tendencies, or being addicted to complaining, being addicted to the idea of like, no, I can't do anything about my situation. Like sometimes we actually get addicted to playing into that role of like saying like, no, I can't do this, I can't do that because of all these reasons. Like sometimes it can feel good to blame something else and be like, no, I can't because of this. No, I can't because of that. Because it helps us take the responsibility off our own shoulders, and it does make us feel like we are a victim to other things, but it relieves us of the responsibility to do something different. And so it can be satisfying. But then again, it keeps us stuck, right? And then we're just stuck not liking where we are. And that's a pretty bad place to be. So it's about being able to release ourselves from that, release from that tower that you don't like being in anyway, overcoming those inner thoughts, being able to allow yourself to dream again and come back to a new fresh start, one that you truly love, one that you're truly excited about. Okay, my love, let's dive into our next cards. We also have Joan of Arc, the Warrior of Light. I have a steel-like faith in myself. The angels armor me with conviction. Okay, that's amazing. And I've had this deck for a long time. This card has never shown up before. I love that it's like a new energy being brought here right now. So I have a steel-like faith in myself. That is what you require, okay? That is what you're gonna require, having a steel-like faith in yourself. And you can do that, okay? Spirit wants you to know right now, you have that ability to be that warrior of light, be that Joan of Arc, of having that steel-like faith in yourself to go and make things happen, to overcome all of those fears, those doubts, the other limitations that you've had. You have the ability to overcome that. Isis, goddess of magic. Sexual energy is sacred. My pleasure is a prayer that brings me back to life. Allow your mind to dream. When you allow your mind to dream of all the magical things that can happen in your life, your pleasure will bring you back to life. Your inspiration, your excitement is going to bring you back to life. And instead of feeling like life is against you, instead of feeling like you are stuck, this is that energy of the sun is shining again, coming back to life, revitalizing yourself, feeling radiant. And as you allow yourself to dream and as you allow yourself to believe in yourself, to believe like, you know what, I do have what it takes. I can make those things happen. Right when you fill yourself up with that, that's going to be the part that brings you back to life and allows you to take action. That's going to be the part where you're no longer afraid of the obstacles and the challenges that might stand in the way. Instead, you're like, you know what, let me face those, let me get over those, because what's on the other side is so worth that battle. It's so worth that confrontation. It is so worth all the different resistances and challenges that I might have to meet along the way. It is so worth it because it's going to bring me to my magical life. It is going to bring me to building that new foundation that I am going to love. I'm going to love. And it is never too late for a reset. It is never too late in your life to completely do a 180. It is never, ever, ever too late. There is never any circumstances that can stop you from choosing to take action in a new direction, other than when we're standing in our own way, other than when we're saying, no, it's going to disappoint this person, or that person doesn't want that in me. It's going to create conflict. It's going to disappoint somebody else, or, it's going to be difficult for me. I'm going to have to go learn new skills. I'm going to have to do that. I'm going to have to do this, do that, do that, do that. It's too late. I'm too old. This happened, this happened, this happened. I've already done this. I've already done that. We come up with all these excuses, but at the end of the day, can those actually hold you back? Can those actually stop you from doing a 180, from creating change? No, but it's just our fear of them. It's our fear of what could happen. But the thing is, we have control of our lives at all moments. And when we're met with resistances, when we're met with challenges, when we're met with failures, we have the ability to overcome all of those things. We have that ability, right? But it's, again, that Joan of Arc, the warrior of light. I have a steel-like faith in myself. So no matter what challenges you meet, you know that this path is bringing you to where you want to be. So you know that it's worth getting over the challenge. It's worth facing that. It's worth moving through that difficulty, because what's more difficult? Think about living your life in the same way right now, the things that you don't like. Imagine staying that through your whole life. Is that more challenging, or is it more challenging to maybe take the next year, couple of years to completely revamp your life? And then within that year, couple of years, imagine that you've built a life that you're like, oh my God, I'm so happy with this. I'm so glad that I'm choosing this path that does bring me passion. It brings me fulfillment. It brings me a zest for life. What is harder? Okay? Sometimes we're just thinking about the present moment. In the present moment, yeah, it's going to feel a lot harder to go in the direction that's the changing direction, because then we have to face all of these things and do all of these things. And yes, that is difficult. But the bigger difficulty is actually staying where we're not happy and then having to live that for the next, 50, 60, whatever amount of years are ahead of you. That's harder. Okay. So anyway, life lesson over. Diving into the next couple cards, we have Priestess. Oh, I love that this card came up. Priestess. Begin, perceive, predict, prophesize. Begin. This is the new path. This has the number 1 on it. This is having that courage, that light within yourself to begin. And it's interesting, we have a lot of these red cards. This deals with the root chakra, which deals with your foundation. So your foundation wants a change. And when you look at the root chakra as well, it is the area that deals with our stability, our finances, our feelings of security, our feelings of safety, and it's also our feelings of passion and our life force. It's connected to our adrenal glands, which is the adrenaline in our life, the feeling of like, oh, let's do that, let's move through that, let's go for it. If you are lacking in any of those areas, it is going to create issues for you when it comes to feeling passion, feeling energized, having energy, getting a good amount of sleep. It sometimes causes anxiety when this area is out of balance, a lot of fears and a lot of fears of confrontation, fears of being assertive and being a leader. It can create financial instability and areas that we just feel like we're not fully grounded and stable there, because again, this is your root chakra and it deals with your material world as well. So if you're wanting to balance this area, this is about having courage. Courage is part of the balanced attribute of the root chakra. So if you want to balance this area, have courage. Go for what it is that you want. Find ways to be stable, to make your foundation something that you love and something that you want to protect and honor and build, that's how you balance this area. And that's where you're going to notice that your life starts flourishing. That's where you're going to notice it's easier to make money and it's easier to hold on to money. It's easier to save it and create that foundation for yourself, because you're living in integrity with balancing that area. You're balancing your foundation rather than living in something that feels so unstable, rather than being attached to something that feels like it could break down at any moment because you're not passionate about it. It's not connecting with you. It's not something that you fully want to continue building. If you don't want to continue building it, the current thing that you're in, then why are we staying in it? Okay. Anyway, begin something new. Then we also have sovereign, reclaim, preserve, govern, remember. Sovereign is having the freedom. We're coming back to that freedom energy. You want your freedom. That is one of the biggest things that I'm feeling in this group, is you want your freedom. And sovereign is taking your power back. That's what this is. And that's going to balance your root chakra too. Root chakra. If you want to balance that area of your body, if you want to balance that energy center, take your power back. Be that assertive leader in your life who calls back their freedom and says, you know what, I'm done complaining. I'm done using my words. I'm done being stuck by all of these mental fears, these mental blocks, the things that I'm thinking about. You know, that inner bully that's coming out, right? That says like, no, you can't do it. Like that criticism that's coming through. No, this is like stepping back into that queen era, the king era of your life, and being like, you know what? I have all the power within me to make change. And yes, it might come with challenges, certain confrontations along the way, certain disappointments. But when you're wearing that, leadership, that assertion, that queen, king energy, taking back your freedom, reclaiming your power, that's where you get to govern your life. And that's when you remember, oh, hey, I am the creator and the leader of my life. Let me get over these stupid fears that are in the way. And usually, by the way, our mind will create different scenarios in our head. It'll create like worst case scenarios that are likely to not even happen and likely to not even be that bad as our mind likes to think. Our mind likes to think about the worst case scenario because our brain thinks that if I can prepare for the worst case scenario, then I can know that I'll be okay. But the thing is, usually worst case scenario doesn't even occur. It doesn't even get that bad. It doesn't even go that way. But our brain, even when it tries to think about we're usually thinking about something that we can't even control and prepare for anyway. It's like we can't even control what it is that our brain is like trying to overthink about. And so what's the point of even overthinking it? Like, let's just move forward in the direction that we want. We'll take things on as they come and realize that, challenges are part of building life. And what's on the other side, again, is going to be worth it for you. But the only way to get there is to start moving towards it. The only way to get there is to move towards that. We also have the energy card coming out. So your energy, your vitality, you will be re-energized with life. If you've been feeling low energy, if you've been feeling down about things, it might be because, again, that root chakra, your adrenals, we're maybe feeling drained because we're not moving in the direction that we're passionate about. So, a light inside my fire divine, energy fill me, make me shine. Your energy will be revitalized when you start making moves in your life that bring you to where you truly want to go instead of settling for what you don't want. We also have healing, candle flame, burn this hour, bring me your healing power. This is time to heal. Heal those old wounds, those old fears. This is time of healing yourself, healing that inner critic, that inner bully, taking your power back, reclaiming your power, becoming the sovereign king or queen of your life, of your journey. We also have safe home. You are safe. And if you want to create more safety, more security in your life, it's going to come through taking action and letting go of the things that don't feel safe. Moving away from the things that you don't want to build anymore. Having the courage to say, you know what, I don't want to stay here. I don't want to stay rooted to this. I don't want to stay in this. This is having that ability to have that courage to go build something new and to say what it is that you really want and then to take action towards what it is that you really want, to make that change. That's how you create that security. That's how you create that safe space where you're like, you know what, I'm so happy that I've built this. I'm so happy that I've created this. And this is also the card that indicates from Spirit, you have the ability to create that for yourself. And You deserve to feel safe and to feel comfortable where you are. And you have that ability within you, but it's about making that change. So that is what we have there. I'm gonna restart my camera really quick, hold on. Okay, we're gonna roll the Astro Dice to get any last information on this reading for you. So let's see what we get. We have Mercury in Gemini in the 8th house. Okay, communicating your honest, authentic truth. Letting go of people pleasing. Letting go of being attached. The 8th house can deal with things that we're currently attached to, things that we currently rely on. So if we currently rely on other people financially, or if we're currently relying on other things in a way where we feel really tied to it, Mercury is coming up with a plan of how to begin to separate yourself from that so that you can become more independent, you can become more sovereign. How can you transform these things in your life? And realizing that everything transforms. So even as we be authentic, which Mercury and Gemini, that's speaking your authenticity and not being afraid to speak your authenticity. And even when things become challenging for a little bit, nothing is forever. So even those certain challenges that we might have to face for a little bit, realize that those will also heal with time. And it will help teach you how to call your power back. It'll help teach you that authority, that type of assertiveness, that type of self-respect, and all of those different things. It's going to teach you all that and give you all of that power and all of that learning, which is also Mercury and Gemini. It's also that deep learning to where those lessons are going to help us become that friggin' king or queen of our life, to call our power back, to create a life that we genuinely love. So anyway, that is the reading for you. That is Spirit's message for you for the year of 2024. Thank you so much for joining me here. I hope that this reading helped and gave you what it is that you needed at this time and in this moment for this next year. So that is all of Spirit's message for your highest good at this time. I'm sending you so much love. And also, if you are curious about any gemstone bracelets, we just came out with a brand new style that I'm fully obsessed with. It is this new satellite design on our charmed bracelets. So we just came out with our charmed bracelets and we totally redesigned them. And I'm so happy we did so, because this new design is my absolute favorite. It is so cute. And we make all of our bracelets with authentic gemstones and with gold fill. So you can even wear these bracelets in water and they will not tarnish. And we make them according to your wrist size. So all the information for that will be linked down below. And again, thank you so much for joining me here today. I'm sending you so much love, and until next time, bye. Okay, so my group number 3 is, if you chose this pile, let's go ahead and see what Spirit's message is for you. Let's dive in. Okay, my group 3s, Gemini being reversed, divine timing upright. There is something that I feel like you are working towards, something that you're wanting to manifest or create in your life, but it seems like it's a slow process. It seems like you're putting in all of this effort, or maybe it seems like you're doing so much only to get very little in return. And maybe that's how your life feels right now. And you're like, how do I fix this? How do I get around this? What do I do? Spirit wants you to know that there is a divine timing within this process, and all that you're doing right now, all of the work that you're putting in, all of the effort, all of the things that you are doing will pay off. You will see the return. Eventually, all of this effort, all of these things that you're doing, it will eventually come into reality. You can almost look at this clock or sand time thingy. You can almost look at it as all of these things that you're doing. Look at this as your effort, and then look at this as the physical manifestation of all of that effort. All of that effort that you're putting in is slowly trickling down and will eventually be fully manifested. It will eventually be all at the end here, but have patience. There's this essence that Spirit's giving me of patience. Gemini likes things to be done very fast. Gemini likes things to move very quickly, but with Gemini being reversed here, this is saying that there's still more that is processing. There's more things that have to happen in order to get you to where you need to be to manifest whatever this thing is. And Spirit is saying that, oh my goodness, please do not give up on your dream, because the time is coming. All of these efforts are pushing you forward. Even if it seems like it's a small return, it will eventually all come down here and all accumulate and you will be rewarded for all that you're putting in. All of the sand that you've put into this jar, it is trickling through, albeit kind of maybe slowly right now. However, eventually that will all come out the other end, and you will be on the other side where you are reaping the rewards and the fruits of all of your labor. So Spirit first wants you to know that, and Spirit wants you to know, do not give up at all on what it is that you are wanting to do, what it is that you're wanting to create. I feel like when I'm looking at this card, part of me is like filled with this like slight bit of like fear and doubt that you might be feeling right now. It's like this fear and doubt that might be clouding your ability to move forward. But I feel like Spirit is coming through being like, no, look at this sand timer. As long as you just don't give up on it and don't move it away and discard it, eventually all of that sand, all of that effort is going to eventually be in the manifestation side where you get to reap the rewards and reap the benefits of that. I hope that analogy is making sense. Anyway, with Gemini as well, Gemini being reversed, Gemini indicates our mentality and the way that we're talking. And so Spirit's advice here is as well to encourage yourself. Encourage yourself to continue moving forward rather than criticizing yourself like, oh, look at, I'm doing all these things and it's not working anyway, so I might as well give up, or I might as well do this, or I might as well do that. Like, don't let these thoughts and this type of communication hold you back, because it doesn't have to hold you back, and instead you can encourage yourself. And the more that you encourage yourself, the more that you're going to reap the benefits in the future as you continue to put in more effort, more time, more energy. It's almost like, okay, Spirit's showing me the example, like imagine you go to the gym for the very first time and you put in all this time, all this effort, and then you look in the mirror after and you're like, I look exactly the same. I just look like a sweatier version of myself, but I look exactly the same. Well, it takes consistency to continue showing up and to continue pushing forward before you're going to see that massive change and those massive results. It takes consistency and it takes dedication. And I feel like that's the stage that you're in right now. Do not give up. And if you only show up like one day a month and then you only end up going to the gym 12 times in a year, you're also not going to notice a difference. And it's going to be exponentially longer before you ever see a difference, versus if you show up consistently, even on the days that you don't want to, and you continue to put your best foot forward and you continue to believe in yourself and push yourself and you continue to follow that vision that you have and you dedicate to that and you show up routinely, and maybe you show up 4 times a week. Oh my gosh. Well, the next 3 months, the next 4 months, the next 6 months, you're going to notice so many more results than if you only showed up one day a month. Or if you only showed up one time a year, right? So Spirit has this encouraging message for you, and Spirit means to be encouraging for you right now. Show up consistently. And that energy is continuing to pile up, and it will exponentially grow. And when you continue to put more sand in, you'll continue to see more results, and you'll continue to build that up more and more, okay? Let's see what else we get for you, okay? What else does Spirit want you to know? I feel like you're in a growth year right now, group 3s. You're in a growth year. And I also feel like this is the year where you can see massive results from your efforts, but it's going to require continuous dedicated action. We have the Magician being reversed here. The Magician is one of my favorite cards in tarot. However, when it is reversed, it can sometimes indicate that we are like feeling like we can't move forward until we have this figured out, or we can't move forward until we're at this type of skill level, and we can't move forward. And like it can be this indication that we're being held back by perfectionism, or we're being held back because we assume that we can't push forward with what we have now. We assume that we need to collect more, that we need to upgrade all of our stuff before we can do it. Like, for example, like some people think like, let's imagine you want to be a YouTuber and you're like, no, I can't begin where I am at now because I don't have the most expensive camera. I don't have the most expensive equipment. I don't have the most expensive computer. This doesn't matter. You could film on your phone and then edit it on whatever device that you have. You could even stop by a library and edit it on a computer there. Like there's free editing software too. You don't need the most expensive editing software. You don't need all of that, right? So I'm using that as an example to show you, you can start wherever you're at. You can begin now. And when you begin now, the faster you're gonna grow. Because imagine, okay, let's imagine you wanna be that YouTuber. And let's imagine you start now by filming videos on your phone, even though it's not the greatest equipment. And you're like, okay, well, my quality isn't gonna be as great, but I'm starting now. Well, if you start now, you're gonna grow the skills of how to film, how to talk on camera, how to edit that video, how to upload that. You're gonna learn so much along that journey that from there, then you can invest in better equipment, better things, and you'll already have all of that skill set that you've already cultivated by starting from where you were at, rather than being like, no, let me save up for the best equipment first, and then you start on your journey. Well, then you're gonna have to still learn how to talk on camera, how to edit the videos, how to upload those, how to even plan out a video. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you just start now with what you have, maybe it's not the greatest and best things, but it doesn't mean you can't start. And the perfectionism that gets in the way, like, for example, let's take the YouTube example again. If we're like, no, I can't start making YouTube videos until I'm the best at editing, until my editing game is as good as somebody who's been doing it for 15 years. Well, the only way to do that is to start making videos and start editing videos for the next 15 years, and then you're gonna get to the same level. Like, you just have to start. You have to start. And you might be thinking like, no, I'm not where I should be yet. Like, I can't, I have no place. It's like imposter syndrome, right? Imposter syndrome, where we feel like we're not worthy. But the thing is, you are, because your voice is unique. Your essence, all the things that you will bring to the world, or bring to a relationship, or bring to your career or your purpose or whatever, anything that you bring to it, you have your own unique energy. And the world wants that unique energy. You know, just because somebody else is providing something similar, it's still not you providing the thing, and you providing the thing is different from somebody else. So don't compare yourself to anybody else. This is a time to let go of imposter syndrome and realize that you have value from whatever starting point that you're going from. You still have value, even if it's providing value to one person or 5 people, 10 people. You don't need to have an audience of 5 million just to get started and to feel like your message has some type of value and some type of worth. You get to start wherever you're at right now, okay? We also have 4 of Cups coming through, and this can indicate that we're looking at past failures, or we're looking at all the things, and maybe it's not perfect yet. You know, it's not perfect. It's not where it could be. And so instead we'd rather sulk on, okay, how can I fix these tiny little things, rather than just taking action, rather than just going for it, rather than just saying, I'm gonna learn as I go. Let me just go for the big. Okay, so she can sulk on all these cups that didn't work out for her in the past, or all the little things that are imperfect with her in the present moment. She can sulk on those, or she can turn around and say, you know what? Let me just start moving forward regardless of these flaws, regardless of these things, because the thing is, there will always be flaws. You could look at the most perfect thing on the earth, and you can still pick it apart and find flaws with it. So you don't need to be flawless. You don't need to be perfect in order to get started on something. And the thing is, the more you get started and the more you just take action, the more you dedicate and you commit, that's when you see the progress. That's the only time you're gonna see the progress. Again, think about somebody going to the gym. Think about the person who's like, I'm gonna dedicate 4 days a week going to the gym consistently. I'm gonna show up, I'm gonna do it, even on the days that I don't feel like it, even though I don't feel like I'm worthy and I can pick myself apart, you know, endlessly. That person that does it, oh my God, they're gonna be so much further ahead than the person who says, I need to have the perfect outfit before I go to the gym. I need to feel like I want to go to the gym. I need to know how to use all the machines in the gym before I go. I need to make sure that this is good. I need to make sure that that's good. I need to make sure that I just feel like it. And the thing is, we don't always feel like it, but it's the person who shows up and dedicates consistently. That's the person who gets results. Okay, so Spirit they really want to hone in on that image right now. And I also feel like Spirit, when I'm looking at this card, Spirit wants to talk about your self-image. You are counting all of your flaws and all of your imperfections, and it's almost like you'd rather look at that than looking at your strengths. But Spirit's calling you right now to look at your strengths and look at those things that you can provide. Yes, you can work on these other skills along that journey, but also focus on your strengths, because your strengths, that's where you can shine right now. What are you good at? And even, you know, on whatever journey that you're going at, there's something that you are good at. There's something that you can bring to the table. This is about getting over imposter syndrome, believe in yourself, and to realize that, yes, I do have value, and it does not matter that I have flaws. Every human has flaws. That's just human. I'm sorry, you're human. Let's live with it, and let's move forward. Okay? Everyone has flaws. You do not need to find a way to hide these. You don't need to find a way to get rid of these. You just need to be like, okay, you know what? Okay, I got that. I have these worries. I have this, I have that, but let me just go. Let me do it. Let me go for it. Let me take up this opportunity in the sky. This is something that she's dreaming about, okay? This is up in the clouds here. This is an idea that she has, she's dreaming about, but she's letting all of these things hold her back. She's looking at these 3 cups that's like, oh no, what if people see that? What if people judge me for that? Or, oh my God, I have this and that. That's not good enough yet. Okay, well, if we have that mentality, then we're never gonna be good enough to take opportunity. Nobody will ever be. So let's just go. Let's get over it. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Like, that is the message here. Let's go. And even this looks like a cup. And we have all of these big dreams and all these ideas. That's why the cup is like full up at the top, but it's empty here almost at the bottom, where the bottom is like the physical manifestation. The bottom is the physical reality. We have all these amazing dreams, but let's start putting them into action. Let's start putting them into reality. That's when things are going to start happening for you. We can't wait around for, okay, there's a whole other message here. It's almost like maybe we're waiting around for the right time. The right time is whenever we say it's the right time. Right? If we're waiting until we feel ready, the thing is we're probably never going to feel ready until we actually just start doing it. There's no point in when you're just like, oh, I feel ready now, right? Because feeling ready, you know, we almost like we expect that, oh, I'm going to feel ready once I feel like my skill set is right, or when I feel like I'm kind of perfect, when I feel like I have no flaws, when I feel like, but that's impossible, right? So it's like waiting for the perfect time. The perfect time is whenever you say it is. So a lot here dealing with timing. All of this, like, I'm not perfect yet. You're never going to be. None of us are, I'm not perfect. Like, none of us are perfect. Let's just go and realize that we're worthy even with our flaws, and our flaws actually make us more worthy, because our flaws again show us that we're human. It's something that we're working on, it's something that we're working towards, and there's always endless things that we can work on and work towards. Endless, right? And that's part of life. That's part of what makes life entertaining and exciting. It's like when you finish a video game and there's no more quests, you're kind of like, oh, well, I'm done that. I don't even need to play that anymore. Okay? Part of life is the fact that there's endless things that we can do, endless things that we can work on. But let's just get out there and start doing them, right? Let's get out there and start working on them and doing them and living. Whoops, sorry, I just dropped my tarot deck. Let's just start doing them. We have 6 of Wands being reversed. So part of you, again, has that imposter syndrome of this, like, I'm not worthy yet. I don't want to. And this is almost not wanting to be in the spotlight because we're scared. We're scared to step up. We are scared to up-level our position because we almost don't feel like we're worthy of that, or, you know, we have all these other reasons that are holding us back. 6 of Wands is this feeling of success where other people are cheering us on, other people are happy. We don't need to wait until everyone's on the same page as us. We don't need to wait until everyone's like, oh my God, yes, duh. Like, we don't need to wait for that before we just actually just do it. You get to give yourself that permission. You get to give yourself that permission. And this card even showing up shows that you have the potential for that success, but again, it comes through that action. I'm gonna leave this card up right here so that you can see and get inspired by this type of energy where he goes and rides his horse and he takes action and he's like, you know what, I'm just gonna do it and I don't care about being seen. I'm ready to be seen. I'm ready to be here. I'm ready to show off who I am, what I have to offer. I am ready to take this position rather than, I'm not ready, oh my God, what if I mess up? What if I fail? What if people judge me? What if I make a mistake? Everyone, everyone makes mistakes. Everyone does, okay? This is time to realize that you are ready. You've always been ready. It's just about you getting out there and just doing it, right? Just doing it. 7 of Cups. We've been way too up in the clouds thinking about all these different options, like, oh, should I do it this way? Should I do it that? Should I wait a couple more months, or should I do this? Should I do that? Should I wait until I have this? It's too many options. Don't give yourself that many options. Let's just go. Let's just go. Let's pick what is it that's most inspiring to you. And this is also, don't change your mind every single day, because another aspect about this card, 7 of Cups, can also talk about a tendency to be such a dreamer that when we try something and we try it for like the next couple months and we're like, that's not giving me the results that I wanted, so we give up and we think about something else. If we continue to give up, go to something else, give up, go to something else, give up, we're never going to get anywhere with anything. Because if we're not dedicating to that thing and not giving it the proper time and consistency that it needs to incubate and to give you the results, then we're never going to get the results. We're never going to get there. So this card can also talk about this tendency to want to change your mind all the time and be like, oh, I didn't see results from that yet. Change my mind, change my mind, change my mind. Pick one thing. One thing. What's the thing that calls to you the most? What's the thing that you really want to do? If you already know what that is, then that's amazing. If not, then think about that on a little bit of a deeper level and just pick something. And sometimes when we don't know what we're passionate about yet, it's because we haven't dedicated ourselves long enough to something to cultivate passion. Sometimes people assume that we're going to be passionate about something right away. It's like we try something the first time and we're like, oh my God, I'm so passionate. That's like pretty rare that that's ever happened to anybody. Usually it's something where, like, let's say that, your mom put you in piano lessons and you didn't really like it, but then she like forced you to go, and then eventually you're like, okay, I'm getting kind of good at this. And then you're like, hey, I'm kind of passionate about this because I'm kind of good. I grew the skill. But it's like, it took that time, it took that dedication to grow and cultivate. So what's something that you're like kind of interested in that you can explore more, but dedicate to it? Even through the hardship, even through the challenge, because that's what really grows passion. That's what grows this dedication, right? And it's easy to, jump ship. It's easy to jump ship, but if you want to get successful in something, if you want to go somewhere, we got to stay dedicated. We got to pick our thing, and we have to dive in, and with consistency, right? Consistency is such a key aspect. We also, look at the next card that we have is the Star card. I love this card. This is the dedication to be seen authentically, to come out raw and be like, this is who I am. It's also the energy of that inner spark within you that's like, ooh, there is something that I am like wishing upon a star. It's like that kind of energy, wishing upon a star. And then dedicating to that process, showing up authentically, falling in love with who you are, getting rid of the things in your life that are kind of distractions, okay? So if there's something in your life that you need to let go of, such as like, maybe we have a tendency to just come home at the end of the day and then watch TV for the rest of the day, or do something where we're not really moving towards what it is that we wanted. We fall into our same old patterns and routines. The Star is about breaking those old patterns and routines. The Star is about having such a big vision that's bigger than your current life. It's a vision that you aspire towards, that aspires you so deeply that you're like, yeah, let me move towards that. Like I can stop looking at my phone because I am so excited and enticed by this vision. If you create a vision for yourself, and I'm like staring at my vision board as I'm saying this because my vision board is literally like right there, and I like stare at it when I'm doing these readings, I guess. But anyway, I'm staring at my vision board and it's such a clear image of what I'm wanting to manifest this year. And each image means something very deep to me. And it inspires me with a very particular vision. Therefore, like every day when I wake up, I'm just like, oh my God, I'm so excited to get started on that. I'm so excited to work towards that. And that's where the most excitement in our life comes from, is when we have something to strive towards, when we have something to work towards, when we have a vision, right? It's not necessarily about like manifesting all the desires in the world, because once we do that and we don't have a vision, we get back to square one where we're kind of like, eh. When we have a vision, that's the most exciting part of our lives. So the Star is about creating that vision. Have a vision that's bigger than you. Have a vision that's like, yeah, that's something I can work towards and strive towards. And that's going to be where things really start moving for you. But you need to be willing to take action, to take that action, to get out there. Because the only thing that's holding you back is you. Oh my gosh, there's actually a book that I started listening to and I'm like almost done it. It's called The Mountain Is You. Oh my goodness, group 3. Go get that book as an audiobook, listen to it on Audible, Spotify, whatever you got, or go buy that book and actually dedicate to reading it. I promise you, you will not regret. That is such a good book. It also talks about like, how we can self-sabotage ourselves. We can sabotage our dreams by, again, like focusing on the problems or the flaws, and like it holds us back even more, and like all these different things. Such a good book, like, oh my God, if you need help to like get over yourself, that's the book. Again, The Mountain Is You. Such a good book. It's by Brianna Wiest, something like that. Anyway, please go read that. It will dive into all of this stuff. So let's dive into more cards. We also have the Damsel. Ooh, so understanding the nature of healthy romance inspires you to rely on yourself. Ooh, I actually feel like, okay, this is ringing a message for me about not waiting for anyone else's approval before you take action towards something, and not needing anyone else's help. This is about doing it on your own. You might have certain fears about doing things on your own. You might be like, oh, but I wish somebody else was doing it with me, or was encouraging me, or was on a similar path that I could like relate to. And while all those things are nice, there also is a time and place for that. And there's also a time and place where we do need to do things on our own. This inspires you to rely on yourself. If you're the damsel in distress and we're just like waiting for somebody to come and rescue us, or we're waiting for somebody else to come fix our problems, or we're just waiting for somebody else to do it for us, that's not gonna happen, right? The shadow attributes of this card are waiting for a knight to provide for you. Seduction by romantic illusion. So waiting for a knight to provide for you. Don't wait for somebody else to discover you, or to come and help you, or to come and, because that's not always gonna happen. And usually that's really rare, because everyone's just focused on their own lives, their own goals. Nobody's gonna look at your life and be like, you know what, let me drop all of my dreams and desires and let me help you reach yours. Like, no. And anybody who's doing that probably has ulterior motives. Like, come on, let's be real. There's probably some ulterior motives with that. So we have to be our own cheerleader. We have to be our own leader. We have to rely on ourselves instead of being the damsel in distress. Like, somebody come help me, inspire me, motivate me. No. Let's be our own leader. Let's take that action in of ourselves, because that's the only way to see progress. That's the only way to get where we want to be. Let's not be the damsel in distress. Let's be the freaking warrior, the warrior goddess who's got this, who's going to make her dreams happen this year, his dreams happen this year. Yeah, you get the point. So we also have monk and nun. So selfless devotion to a single-minded dedication. Dedication is the word. That's the word, dedication. Think about a monk or a nun. They are dedicated to a cause. They are dedicated to a vision. The shadow attribute, negative judgment of the physical world, excess pity. Is that pity? Piety? Piety? Pity? Is that how you spell pity? I always thought pity was like P-I-T-Y. Anyway, I feel like this is calling excess pity, because I don't even know what that word is. If you know, then whew. But anyway, see, like, I can even make mistakes sometimes. I might be making a mistake right there, but at the same time, I feel like that is an absolute message from spirit. Excessive pity. So instead of being like, oh no, all these things, no. Let's stop with the excessive negative judgment of ourselves, of our current situation. Let's dedicate to a vision, right? This is selfless devotion, okay? Let's get more single-minded. So rather than focused on all these different things, right? 7 of Cups, rather than our head being in the clouds, single-minded. Let's hone in, have tunnel vision in a certain direction with a certain vision. Let's go. Let's make it happen. This is all, like, again, Spirit's advice for your next year. So if you want this year to be different than your previous year, this is time to make a shift. This is time to make a change. And look at, again, it's so funny because she's looking at all these, she was at least looking at these 3 cups in front of her, right? Kind of scattered between all these different things. But again, what she's supposed to be focused on is this one thing. Let's not focus on these. Let's focus on this. Let's pick that one thing. That's what 7 of Cups talks about too. And then that's what Monk talks about, this selfless devotion, being more single-minded with our direction. Also, what was that? Weird screech outside. It was like, I don't know if the microphone picked that up, but that was definitely strange. Next card that we have, Networker. So enhances unity through sharing of information, engenders social awareness and empathy. Then the shadow attributes, conveys information only for personal gain, spreads fear and falsehood. So in which ways have we been spreading fear and falsehood? And who are we surrounded by? This card is giving me the feeling of who are we surrounding ourselves by? Are we surrounding ourselves by people who are not taking action towards their dreams or are spreading a bunch of fears around, you know, anybody who does and all these different things? This is time to kind of start to separate yourself from things that are not in alignment with the life that you truly want, with your vision. Begin to maybe just separate yourself a bit from that and to network, to find people who are on your same wavelength. Again, not from a place of expecting other people to help us or any of that, but networking to maybe find a group of people that can that are on the same, they have the same drive, they have the same motivation in life, and they're not filling us with fear or doubt or holding us back. And the people who you surround yourself with most have such a deep impact and influence on you and your perspective of the world and everything. And so when we can surround ourselves with people who are on that same energy of where we're wanting to go, that's when things are great. But again, this is not about relying on those other people or waiting to find people who are gonna like just give you what you want, because again, that's usually there's ulterior motives involved in that. And yeah, I mean, we generally speaking, have to do things on our own to get anywhere. And then we also have the, oh wait, this is the self-sabotage card, and we were literally talking about that. Okay. This is confirmation that you need to read the book, The Mountain Is You. If you've already read that, amazing. Maybe go read it again. Highlight notes. But the light attribute highlights your fear of self-empowerment and the changes it would bring to your life. Shadow attributes induces self-destructive behavior or the desire to undermine others. So I don't necessarily feel like you're trying to necessarily undermine others. I mean, but the Saboteur card talks about self-sabotage when our own mind or our actions are working against us. So for example, this is like, let's say we want to manifest being in a committed, beautiful relationship, but at the same, sorry, my love, my camera cut out there, but let's say that you want to be that YouTuber and you're like, oh, I know I need to film videos in order to make that happen. But let's say you have this fear of talking on camera. And so instead you're just like, oh no, like I don't have the greatest equipment, so I shouldn't do that anyway. Or I am not perfect yet. I need to continue wait till I'm perfect before I do that. It's all these different reasons, these different scenarios that we come up with in our head to stop ourselves from pursuing our dreams because there's a certain fear. So we tend to sabotage it because there's a fear that's holding us back. Yeah, and self-sabotage can show up in so many more forms and ways than that. Again, if you are curious to deep dive into that topic, that book, The Mountain Is You, will deep dive into that topic. But we also have Lolita, the red goddess, showing up. Playfulness is a spiritual power. Laughter leads me back to the light. So instead of fearing making mistakes or fearing this, fearing that, let's just laugh at it, because that's that lighthearted energy rather than being so serious, like, oh no, what if I make a mistake? Or I can't do this because of that? Or what if I make a fool of myself? It's like, well, how about let's not even care about that. And instead, if I make a mistake or if I make a fool of myself, let me just laugh about it, because all of us do things like that. We're human. So playfulness, be more playful with your life. Laughter, have fun with it. This is what Spirit wants you to know. These are the keys for your successful year of this next year. Is tapping back into that inner power, that inner freedom, the ability to laugh and have fun with life, the ability to move forward, and the ability to face and conquer any of those fears, any of those aspects where you used to hold yourself back. Let's move forward. Let's be that warrior. Look at her. She's got her bow and arrow. She has her sights set on something with her bow and arrow, just like the star has a particular vision, and let's be playful with it. Let's have fun with that journey. You deserve that, okay? And we also have Adrienne, the mistress of the labyrinth. My soul knows the way, and the only way is through. That is so freaking true. And I feel like that has to come when, like, the certain things that you're fearing, the certain challenges that you know that you're gonna have to overcome, the certain hurdles that you're required to overcome. Your soul knows how to get over that. Your soul knows how to learn and grow. And the only way to the other side, the only way to get to your goal is to go through those things. There's no way around it. Okay? There's no way around the fears. There's no way around the doing. There's no way around anything. If you want to get to that goal, the only way there is through. And your soul knows how to like learn and evolve and grow. And the only way that our soul can learn and evolve and grow is for us to step into those fears, those doubts, those limitations. The only way to grow out of that is literally to go through it. So all these cards coming up, this is about you calling your power back, coming back to that more playful, fun energy rather than taking life so seriously, and then diving into facing those blocks, facing those obstacles so that you can get to the other side of them. Okay, my love, let's dive into our next few cards here. We also have the Nurturer, seed, conceive, nourish, birth. If there's anything that you are wanting to birth into this world, if there's ideas that you have that are cultivating, this is your sign that you can do that. But it's about nurturing them. It's the consistently. If we stop watering our plants, they're gonna die. If we stop watering our dreams, they're gonna die. If we stop taking action towards our goals, they're gonna go away. And the only way through, the only way for a seed to come to fruition is for consistent nurture, attention, care, nourishment. That's the only way that it's going to birth and bloom. So this is about you birthing and blooming. This is about your dreams birthing and blooming. If we are like, why hasn't it happened yet? Well, we have to nurture it more. We also have the Archer coming through, and that ties in right with this card that we had. So focus, align, pivot, surrender. What is your focus? The Star card here. What is your focus? Focus, align, pivot, surrender. Surrender to the process. Yes, we're going to have to like move some mountains. We're going to have to do some work. We're going to have to do some things to get to the other side. But again, it's all worth it to get to that end goal. Then we also have the Sorceress, which is summon, conjure, weave, enchant. You have the ability to weave that dream into life, to conjure it, to summon that. But the only way to do that is through you doing it. Poet, inscribe, envision, write, recite. Spirit's message to you is to also gain clarity on what it is that you want and writing it down in detail. What is it that you truly want in your life? Write it down so that you could become really clear, so that you can have a vision, so that you can envision exactly what it is that you want, and then recite that so it becomes your new vision so that you can begin to see it. Because right when you can begin to see it with clarity, that's the moment where that inspiration will kick in. That's the moment where you're like, okay, I know what action to take next. I know what to do to get there. Because your soul knows the way. But the only way that your soul is going to know the way is when you define the vision, when you define the goal. You have to have the goal defined. Otherwise, you're just going to be moving willy-nilly. Imagine an airplane taking off with no destination where it's going to land wherever it lands, right? But if you have that clear destination, now that airplane knows where to go. Your soul knows where to go. Your soul has an inner GPS that can guide you to any goal, but you need to input the goal with clarity before your inner soul knows what to do. So again, if you become really clear on, I want to be a writer and I want to write fantasy novels and I want to be a New York Times bestseller and I want to do this, okay? Right when you input that goal, then your soul knows, I need to start writing a book. Or maybe I'm not that great of a writer yet. Maybe I'm going to go take a writing class, a creative writing class. Bam. Your soul knows the way, and your soul has that inner GPS right when you become clear about what it is that you want. So have clarity, my loves. If you don't have clear clarity, go work on finding that clarity first. Then we also have sensuality, which is getting in touch with your senses, with your passions. Then we also have health, nurturing with your health. That's another aspect that's coming through group threes. So where have we been maybe not being very healthy for ourselves, either mentally, emotionally, or physically, because health takes on all different aspects and forms, right? So where could we improve our health mentally, emotionally, and physically? And where can we nurture and care for ourselves more properly? Maybe is it going to fitness classes regularly, going to the gym in order to get to that physical health goal that we want. Maybe it's changing our diet, changing what we eat, focusing on more healthy whole foods, or maybe it's something to deal with our mental and emotional health. So for example, cutting time away from things that are draining to our mental health, things that are putting us in a bad mental state, focusing on the things that are nourishing to our mental health, because there's different things that we could do that are also nourishing to our mental health, right? And also our emotional health and all these different things. So we have that. And then we also have harvest. That's when you get to harvest. That's when your fruits begin to bloom on the tree. That's when your seed turns into the plant that can then grow and offer you the fruits, right? That's when we harvest all the fruits of our labor. So if you're wanting a successful career and you're wanting to make really good money on that, okay, first we need the seed, and we need to clarify which seed we need. So we need to have a clear vision of what we want to manifest, because if we don't know and we just go grab a random seed, maybe we're going to grow just like a dandelion and we're like, shit, I didn't want a dandelion, that was the wrong seed. Or when we're clear on our vision of what we want, we're like, I want to grow a mango tree. Okay, now we know exactly which seed to get. We know which seed to plant. Then we can also know exactly how to nurture it, how to water it, what action to take to bring it to fruition. We need certain sunlight, water, all the things, right? So Spirit's message for you, get very clear on your vision. And with that clear vision, your soul is going to know what action to take, it's going to know where to go. And when you do that with consistency, you have to stay consistent. That's when you get to harvest. That's when you see the results of everything. That's when everything's going to come to life for you. So with that being said, let's go ahead and dive into our Astro Dice to get any last information. My group 3s, okay, we have Taurus here with Venus. Venus in Taurus in the 4th house. Venus is the planet of love, beauty, and money. So there could be aspects for you where maybe you're wanting to step more into a higher version of yourself. Maybe you're wanting to improve yourself in some way with, wanting to feel more beautiful. That's the Venus energy, and that's also Taurian energy, by the way. And the 4th house is setting the right foundation for that. So what is the foundation? Maybe we need to stay consistent with our workout routine in order to get more healthy. Maybe we need to stay consistent with our skincare routine so we can get our skin looking really nice, or our hair, like whatever. So the 4th house is that consistency, laying the right foundation for your dreams. Also, again, Venus is the planet of love, beauty, and money. So if we're wanting to improve our love life or our financial life, again, it takes that consistency, getting that clear vision and striving towards that, taking consistent action. Taurus is about getting the ball rolling through having that clear vision and staying consistent with it. Okay. And once you stay consistent with it, you will be unstoppable. There's a message here from the universe saying that you will be unstoppable. Taurus is the bull, right? And so an interesting thing about Taurus, the bull, is imagine trying to push a bull when it's standing still and it's like, or it's laying down or something. Imagine trying to move it. Nearly impossible. However, once you get the bull moving, let's say it's charging at you, then try to stop it. It's not happening. It's not happening. They become unstoppable. So the thing is with Taurus, I feel like you are having this Taurus energy right now when it comes to the things that you want, where it might be hard for you to get the ball rolling. And you're like, oh, that sounds like a challenge. That's really difficult for me to all of a sudden stay consistent with it. It's hard for me to get moving. But the thing is once you get moving, the hardest part is just getting it moving. But once it's moving, unstoppable, okay? And since you have that Taurus energy right now, your dreams can become unstoppable, but you have to get the momentum moving. You have to get the ball rolling, and you have to get it consistently rolling so that it doesn't stop in certain pits and challenges. You have to face challenges with consistency and momentum. And as you continue that, then the ball, again, is unstoppable. No matter what freaking trench gets in the way, whatever challenge, if there's like a fence there or whatever, that ball, once it's rolling, it will break through anything. You will have your breakthroughs. You will have your breakthrough moment. That is everything that's in store for you, but you have to get the ball rolling. You have to take action. And the only way to take action is, again, to have that clear vision of where you're going, to have that more single-minded focus and not focus on 10 million different things. Be more single-minded, get clear on what you want, and then get that ball rolling. And once it's rolling through that consistency with that momentum, you will be unstoppable. And that is where you're going to achieve all of that harvest. You're going to have that foundation. And I also see you owning a very beautiful house one day, by the way, something that you're so proud of, something that feels like a whole sanctuary that you're like, oh my God, I achieved that. That's in store for you, especially with Venus and Taurus in the 4th house. But again, we have to get the consistency going. We have to get the ball rolling. And then that's on the other side. And this also is a very solid and secure foundation financially, and also feeling like you're living a life that's like luxurious to you. That's what this is. But we have to get the ball rolling. And we do that through the vision and that faith and that belief in ourselves, because we're not going to get the ball rolling if we don't believe we're capable of our vision. So let me tell you right now, you are capable of your vision. You absolutely are, but it's up to you to get that ball rolling. And then once it does, unstoppable, there you go, let's go. That's it. So that is Spirit's message for you. Group 3, that was like that was like an intense message there, but you know, sometimes Spirit comes through, and that is, again, your message for your highest good at this time for this next year. I hope this message helped and resonated and provided you what you needed in this moment. If you are also interested in getting any of my crystal bracelets, I'm so excited to announce that we just launched a brand new style, which is this like satellite charm style. It is so cute. It is my absolute favorite. These just came out, and I absolutely love them. We make our hand-beaded bracelets according to your wrist size so that they will fit you perfectly. They're also made with gold fill, so they do not tarnish. You can wear them in water and all of that. And yeah, they are awesome. I love them. All the information for that will be linked down below in case anyone is interested. But thank you so much for joining me here today, and I will see you soon. Bye. All right, my group 4s, I am so excited to dive into your reading. Let's go ahead and see what Spirit's message is for you for this next year. All right, my group 4s. So we have the 5 of Wands. It is reversed over here. Okay, this talks about a battle where we're kind of like either conflicted in our own mind, or we're met with a lot of people that have very differing opinions than us and might want different things for us, and we're just like, no, I want this, and they're like, no, you should go in this direction, you should do this, and we're like, I don't know. Or it's like an inner conflict that we're having, again, within our own mind, where we're like, do I go in this direction? Do I go in that direction? Or what if I fail like this? What if this happens? And then we just get stuck at this like stalemate, because we can't move forward, because our mind is just coming up with all these different reasons why we can't do this, why we can't do that, why we shouldn't do that. And we can get a little bit stuck. And the sun being reversed here talks about how there's so much great possibility for you, and there's always going to be clouds in any direction that we go in. There's always going to be something that we could find why we shouldn't go in that direction, why we shouldn't do that thing. And that's when we get stuck, is when we start focusing on all of those other reasons why we shouldn't do something, why we shouldn't do this, why we shouldn't do that. So this message that Spirit has for you is to realize that this is possibly like a protection mechanism that we have, where we're almost standing in our own way because we're so afraid of either failing or something going wrong. So we'd rather just like stay stuck. And that stuck feeling is not very fun. The 8 of Rings, this is the 8 of Pentacles. This is working towards something, putting that effort in, learning something new, going for it anyway, and realizing that yes, there's going to be challenges, there's going to be obstacles, but let's put the work in, and let's move towards that, especially when we can see that, you know, that's something where it's worth it. It's worth the time, it's worth the energy, and it's worth it to me. The things that are worth it to you, it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks of it. It doesn't matter what anyone else says about it. And it doesn't matter, like, you know, all those different reasons that we can come up with why we shouldn't do something. You know, sometimes it's just worth it to just go in that direction because it's what we want. It brings us satisfaction to work towards that. We also have the 7 of Wands and the 6 of Cups. Okay, 7 of Wands and the 6 of Cups. The 7 of Wands is when we feel like there's almost like a battle against us. And there's so much to take care of that we are trying to put out all these different fires. We're trying to satisfy everyone. We're trying to, that's a message coming up. Some of you might be working so hard to satisfy everyone, or to make things perfect, to make things fully fair, fully equal, meet everyone's expectations, and it's exhausting. That's a message coming through. Where are you overworking yourself to meet everyone's expectations, to meet everyone's desires, to the point where we're just like overwhelmed? There's like this overwhelming feeling. And something that I'm hearing from Spirit right now is to focus on what's authentic to you. And it's okay to disappoint people sometimes, you know? Everyone's responsible for their own happiness, and we cannot provide happiness for anyone. That's not our responsibility, nor are we even capable of that. Because like, that's not true happiness. Happiness is always something that you make for yourself, right? And if you rely on somebody else for your happiness, if you're relying on a relationship to make you happy, that's never going to make you happy, because again, your happiness is not somebody else's responsibility. Somebody else might be able to make you happy, but then again, they're also living their own life with their own things. And if we cannot make ourselves happy, we will never have a lasting happiness, because if we're trying to find happiness outside of ourselves solely, and we're not happy internally, we're never going to have lasting, full happiness. So again, don't try to please everybody else. And this is a message, I think, to think about your happiness. What makes you happy? Put that as your priority, because once you can make yourself happy, then you have a full cup with which you can give back to other people, with which you can show up in your relationships with. And when you show up with that full cup, that's something that's palpable. It is felt by other people. But when we're drained and we're trying to do something for somebody else, people can feel that. They can feel that energy. And that's not very satisfying. It's not satisfying for them. And it's not satisfying for us, right? And again, we're all responsible for our own happiness. 6 of Cups here, there's something where this can talk about our past. It can talk about kids that we have. It can talk about our relationships that we have. So our relationships, maybe we're trying to like uphold something that's not very sustainable, right? Or maybe we have certain expectations that's like, it's impossible to meet those expectations. So sometimes we have to ground ourselves and come back and realize, okay, you know what? I'm responsible again for my own happiness. It's time to heal that and to focus on what can you do to fill up your cup to make you happy, because people pleasing didn't get nobody anywhere. So let's dive into some more cards for you, my love. Let's see. The next card that we have Vampire. Ooh, this is a card that talks about people that are kind of just stealing our energy, or we're allowing the actions that we do are just allowing for people to kind of steal our energy. Because again, when we're too caught up in people-pleasing mentalities, people-pleasing tendencies, then other people are kind of just there stealing our energy, and we're allowing them to, because we're bending over backwards for everyone else's needs, everyone else's desires, which is impossible. And that drains our energy. It drains our life force, because when we're not doing actions to fill up our cup, it's just getting drained. We can't just allow people to continue to take, us bend over backwards and not do anything for ourselves. Okay? Your happiness means a lot. So this next year, Spirit really wants you to focus more on yourself. And it's not selfish to focus on yourself and focus on your happiness, because again, we're all responsible for our own happiness. That's something that you have to learn how to provide for yourself. Nobody else can permanently provide that for you. And when you can provide that for yourself, then you have an infinite fountain that you can drink from, that you can fill up your cup from. You have an infinite source, because it's coming from you. You're able to provide it for yourself, and everyone should be providing it for themselves, right? So yeah, we also have Rescuer. So this one is provide strength and support. Oh, you know what? You have this tendency to be the rescuer. This is what I'm feeling. You have the tendency to be the rescuer. You have this tendency, when somebody else has an issue, when somebody else has a problem, you have a tendency to be that rescuer that's like, oh, let me help you. Let me help you, let me help you, let me help you. But the thing is, when are we helping ourselves? And also, okay, let's read all what's on here. Okay, so provide strength and support to others in crisis, which I feel like is something that you tend to do. Acts out of love with no expectation of reward. But then the shadow attributes assumes that the rescued will reciprocate, keeps the rescued one needy. Okay, so we might have a tendency where we assume that the people that we're helping will also look at us and want to provide back for us, We might have this expectation or this assumption that, oh, if I go and do this thing for that person, they're finally going to give me the love that I've always wanted. They're finally going to show up and commit to me like I've always wanted. Like there might even be a relationship in your life where somebody, maybe you really want them to commit to you, maybe you really want them to provide or show up for you in a certain way. So you continue to show up for them and help them through all their problems, all their issues, all their things, and then they don't show up back for you. But that's again the shadow attributes of the rescuer, assumes that the rescued will reciprocate. That's not always the case. We can't have that expectation. People get to decide what they do with their time and with their energy and all of that. And if they don't feel like showing up for us, they're not going to. So who are we rescuing? We need to be more conscious about who we're giving our time to. Again, we have this vampire energy, which makes you aware that someone or something is draining your life force. Someone or something is like, taking advantage of your kindness, of your niceness, and not reciprocating. So we need to be more cautious about who we give our time and energy to and our resources. Who do we keep saving? Because also, get this, oh my goodness, this is something that I had to learn in my life. When I learned it, I was like, oh, huge epiphanies. Okay, so when you show up for other people and you continue to save them from their problems, you continue to save them from themselves, they will never learn how to save themselves because they don't have to. They'll never learn. So then you keep wondering, why do I keep having to save you? Why do I keep having to help you? It's because you're not giving them the space to figure it out for themselves. Nor do they have to. It's like, how are they ever going to learn if they're always just being saved? Then they're not going to learn. So this could be a message that is meant for you, more for yourself, or more meant for you in how you show up for other people, or both, right? So also if we're expecting to be saved from something, if we're constantly expecting somebody to save us, we are never going to learn how to save ourselves. If we're constantly expecting other people to provide us with happiness or to provide us with our needs, we're never going to learn how to meet them for ourselves. We're always going to rely on other people, and that always will lead to some form of disappointment at some time or point in life. And I'm not saying that everyone, has this like negative energy and won't show up for us. There's people that will genuinely love you and want to show up for you. Yes. But there's a difference between relying on those people to constantly show up for you, which is impossible to consistently meet all the time, always. There's always going to be some sort of bump in the road. And when we can learn how to provide ourselves our own happiness and we also allow others to figure that out for themselves, that's when things become a lot healthier and we're not stuck in this vampire rescuer stage where we feel like we need to be rescued, or we feel like we need to do the rescuing, or we feel like we have people that constantly take advantage of us, or we're feeling like we're constantly being taken advantage of, like all these different things, right? This is about changing that dynamic, and the way to change it is to stop being the rescuer. Rescue yourself. That's the only way to be rescued. It's like that analogy of like, do you give a hungry man a fish, or do you teach him how to fish? One skill will help him for the rest of his life. The other one will help him for a day, right? So, we also have Martyr. Oh my gosh, group 4. This is the people-pleasing group. This is the people-pleasing group, okay? The Martyr is the one that, okay, and this deals with your sacral chakra, which is your second chakra, which is your relationship chakra. This area of the body, it's located just below the navel. And this area of the body, any of the organs there, when this chakra is out of balance, sometimes we can have like different other issues that are showing up in our life, either emotionally or within our relationships or within that even area of our body. But the Martyr, okay, is the one who wants to bend over backwards for other people because they're either scared of disappointing other people or they feel like that's what they should do. So for example, the Martyr archetype, when they get into a relationship, and let's say that relationship, they're just like, oh, I want a partner who's exactly like this. And they have all these different points that they want to meet. The Martyr is someone who's like, I will meet all of those expectations in order to make you happy, even if it's a disservice to themselves, even if they don't actually want to be that. They will bend over backwards to do it because they think that they should, and they think that they're being good by doing that. They think that they're doing a service to other people by doing that. But the thing is, you're not, because for one, you're not acting authentically to yourself. You're draining your energy. You're allowing people to steal that energy because you're not honoring who you truly are. You're bending over backwards, giving up who you truly are, which, you're doing it from a good intention. Yes. However, that self-sacrifice that you're doing is a dishonor to yourself, because years down the road, you're going to be looking back and you're going to be like, I gave up all of my own desires, my dreams, maybe not all of them, but at least some of them. And there might come a time where you're like, I really wish I could do those things. And then that will eventually lead to possible resentment, or it will lead to you just feeling sad and like restricted and stuck and feeling like you can't live your life for you because you've had to put on this mask to please somebody else. And again, you feel justified in it because you're like, oh, I'm doing something so nice, I'm doing something so kind, it's so amazing. But again, that will drain your passion, it'll drain your sacral chakra, which is how you show up in relationships. It's changing this relationship dynamic. And for example, would you want someone to give up their hopes, dreams, and desires, to give up who they are just to meet your expectations? Would you want to be in a relationship with somebody like that? Like, probably not, because you know that it's not real. That's not them showing up authentically. They're also not going to be as happy because they're giving up so much just to be with you. And in relationships, yes, there does tend to be some form of compromises and sacrifices once in a while, but the martyr will, like, again, kind of like give up so much. It's just to people please. It's like a people pleasing sort of mentality, and they justify it by thinking it's like for a good cause, but it's not. It's like it's not honoring who you are, and that always leads to dissatisfaction at some point in your life when you're bending over backwards for other people like that. And anyway, so that's coming up. So I feel like Spirit's message for you this year, my love, like group 4. I relate to this because I've definitely been in this position in my life before, but like so glad that I'm not there now, because I've learned how dishonoring it is to yourself to put that type of sacrifice, especially when other people don't give it in return. But at the same time, imagine you have two people that are sacrificing who they truly are just in order to be together, but then both of them are not actually happy because they're not honoring what they really actually want in life, but they're getting this slight happiness by pleasing somebody else, which it does have its own type of happiness, but at the same time, you're not genuinely, actually, truly happy on the deepest parts of yourselves, because again, you're not living your passion. You're not living in a way that's fully authentic to who you are, okay? So those are the messages coming through. Let's dive into the next card. We have the Fool card. So, oh, my love. Okay, so the light attributes, the positive attributes of this is fearlessly revealing emotion. Maybe you fear talking about what it is you truly want because you're scared it'll oppose other people, or it will step on other people's toes, or it won't be what they want, or it'll cause discomfort. So we repress our emotional needs, our emotional desires, and what we truly want, what our emotions really are. We repress those because we would rather save face. We would rather everyone be pleased with us. We'd rather show up with people being perfectly happy with who we are, because we are just putting on a mask to hide our authenticity. We're putting on a mask to please somebody else, which is giving us a type of satisfaction, but it's not a full satisfaction in any way, shape, or form. So, anyway, another aspect of this is helping people laugh at absurdity and hypocrisy. Shadow attributes is using humor to wound rather than liberate, and denial of your emotional truth. Okay, shadow attributes, denial of your emotional truth. There we go, right on the money. When we people please, we deny our emotional truth. And look at, we have to wear a mask, and we're dissatisfied on the inside. We're not happy on the inside. There's a false sense of happiness because we're making somebody else happy, but at the expense of ourselves and our happiness and our truth. Your truth is valid, and something that I needed to realize to get over my people-pleasing tendencies when I was in this was realizing that your happiness is just as worthy as other people's happiness. People who are people pleasers almost feel like other people's happiness is more valid, or in the moment they're getting more satisfaction from it because they're either scared of confrontation, they're scared of not pleasing other people. And it's usually people pleasers come from either having like a parent or growing up with somebody or being used to having relationships where parents either expected you to accompany all of their wishes, or having a narcissistic parent, or having a parent who placed such high expectations on you or taught you that other people's wants and needs and feelings are more important than your own. And when we're raised with that type of mentality, that's when we start being the martyr, where we're like, oh, because we learn, we get rewarded as a child for showing up by pleasing other people. We get rewarded as a child for sacrificing our own emotional needs, wants, and desires in service to other people. And when we get rewarded for that, that's what we think is correct. That's what we think we should be doing. That's what we think is the right thing to do. But it's not. Who in the world says that somebody else's emotional needs are more important than your own? And we can't expect that from anybody else either. Just like what the rescuer said, assumes that the rescued will reciprocate, because we've been raised with this idea that somebody else should put our emotions first and we should put their emotions first. No, you are responsible for your own emotions, and the only way to be truly happy is to take off the mask, be authentic with what you truly feel, who you really are, what you really want in your life. Show up as you. It might cause some conflict. Look at this Five of Wands being reversed. This is this avoidance of conflict, this fear of conflict, this fear of confrontation, this fear of disagreements. It's like we're trying so hard to avoid disagreements, conflict, and arguments that we're like bending over backwards to just please everybody, because we don't want to do that. But then at the same time, we have to wear this false mask, and then we're getting eaten alive with our emotions because we keep having to swallow who we really are. Like, you know what I mean? Anyway, I'm going off on this, but it's because I have been in this place in my life before and I could say so much about it. Anyway, we also have Anandamaya Ma, the joy permeated mother. Oh, look what this card says. I love this. This fits in so well. I am my own guru. I know the self that never changes. The inner you, the real you, doesn't really change. Like, yes, we transform, and yes, we grow, and yes, we do change. But however, there's certain aspects of ourselves, no matter how many masks we put on, no matter how hard we pretend to be somebody else, you have inner desires within that. So we might as well just take off the mask and be who we really are. Be your own guru, be your own light, be your own guide. Be your own person that you're there to please. Please yourself. That is one of the most invaluable, most important things to learn in life, is how to please yourself, and then trusting that, everyone else, like be responsible for your own happiness, because I'm not going to be. You're not here. You're not put on this earth to people please. You're not put on this earth to live your life in sacrifice to other people. Yes, there's times and places to make certain sacrifices. Absolutely, I'm not in denial of that. But when you are here living your life, you're here to live your life for you, and you're not here to wear masks, okay? Life's not about wearing masks. Life's about being authentic, and then when the time is truly appropriate to make certain sacrifices, that's okay, yes. But it also comes from a place of still being authentic and being like, you know what? This is where I'm at, but I'm willing to do this for you, but here's my authenticity, and having a relationship that's more like that. And then also at the same time, knowing when there's something that you for sure 100% don't want to compromise on, because it's something that means so much to you. It means everything to you, okay? There's a balance with this. But at the same time, we're all responsible for our own happiness and all that. Okay, anyway. The patroness of miraculous healing. I am ready to heal. I am worthy of the miracles meant for me. This is your year where Spirit really wants you to heal this wound of needing to people please, being afraid of confrontation, being afraid of conflict and all these things. Because when you do, oh my gosh, you will free yourself to be able to create the life that you really want, right? Like, this is about imagine that you're in a relationship where you have to let go of all of who you are, all of your wants and desires for the relationship. That's not the right relationship for you. Your relationship should be, very much on the same path as you, to where both of your lives do mold together very well. That's a healthy, good relationship. The relationships that are hard and create pain and turmoil, the ones that are very much not on the same page as us. And those are the ones that, we're probably not meant to be together and all of that. Temple, sanctify, devote, commune, reflect. Sanctify, devote, commune, reflect. Honor your own temple, your own desires. Reflect on, who am I really? Because sometimes when we're the martyr for too long, we lose who we are. We don't even know who we are anymore because we've put on the mask for so long. We have so many masks covering ourselves that we're like, wait a minute, I don't even remember who I am anymore. I don't even remember what I really want out of life because I've lived my life in service to other people for so long that I don't even remember what I want. I don't even remember how to want. Sometimes we get to that point, but when we can reflect, we can come back to our own inner temple, take some time away and maybe, distance ourselves a little bit so that we can refine who we are. And it's not about asking others, like, who am I again? No, this is something you define for yourself. It's something you discover for yourself. We also have circle. Who is your inner circle? Who do you collaborate with? So assembling, holding, initiate, who's your inner circle? Who do you want to be surrounded by? You should want to be surrounded by people who are very similar to you, who are on a similar path as you, because that way you're surrounded by people who aren't going to, you don't have to be the martyr for, you don't have to put on masks for, you don't have to constantly rescue them and feel like you're being drained from them. We also have wisdom. This is a time of deep learning for you this year. Wisdom of realizing all of this stuff that we're talking about, this wisdom of who you really are, learning right from wrong, right? Because the martyr actually thinks that they're doing the right thing, but they're not, right? I used to think I was doing the right thing when I was people pleasing, but then eventually I came to a point where I realized that's actually the very, very wrong thing to do because, we're showing up falsely for other people, which is wrong and isn't beneficial for them. And it's also not beneficial for us, obviously, for obvious reasons. So there's wisdom in that. There's wisdom, and there's something beautiful about being your own guru. The joy permeated mother, she is seeking her own joy. She knows how to provide it for herself because she's her own guru and she's not there being the martyr and being all of that. New beginnings. This is time for a fresh start, new beginnings, to blossom rather than staying in your cocoon and letting people tell you what you should be, what you should do, how you should show up. This is time to blossom out of that cocoon, out of that mask. Allow your real self to blossom, to heal, and even Six of Cups is about healing too. And this card indicates your childhood too. So there's something going on here from childhood. So a tendency that we've had since we were a kid where we thought it was proper to have to people please and uphold other people's expectations and all of that. So, that's not always the case, but there's also a balance because, everything does have its own balance. But at the same time, for example, the one who's their own guru, the joy permeated mother, she knows how to make herself happy. She shows up authentically. Of course, she's willing to sacrifice certain things to make sure that, her kids, for example, are provided for. So she's willing to, go out there and, make a living and provide food. But she also honors, how do I want to make that living? I want to make that living doing something that I love. I want to provide for my kids in a way that's balanced for me. I don't want to overwork. I'm not going to overwork. I'm going to also have a work-life balance. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm also going to travel. And so there's some times where maybe I'm going to want to travel. And there's maybe times that I want to take a solo trip. And there's maybe times that I want to do that. And I'm going to honor that. But at the same time, she knows how to keep that balance. She's not living fully selfishly, but at the same time, she's also living a life that she loves and that she's authentically creating by honoring what she needs, what her emotional desires are, and all of that. So yes, peace, the brigade goddess in your sacred name, a light within me, peace's flame. That inner peace comes when we honor ourselves. We're doing things from a place of honor, creating harmony in our life. Harmony is created by, again, not being the martyr, not being the people pleaser. Harmony is created by living life for you and finding other people that are in harmony with you. surrounding yourself and choosing to connect with people who are in harmony with you. And then we also have victory. That is your way to victory, my love. That is the way that you are going to live a life that's authentic to you, that you can celebrate, that you feel like you've won in life. We don't feel like we've won in life when we sacrifice everything of ourselves, because then who are we? What are we doing? What are we living for? If we're just living for other people, I mean, we might, what are we doing here then? You know, like, you are your own individual because you are here to have an individual life, to have individual desires. And that's why you're also given individual desires, is because you're here to live life also for you. So let's dive into our Astro Dice and let's get any last information for you, my love. All right, so we have Venus, the planet of love, beauty, and money, in the zodiac sign of Capricorn in the 8th house of transformation. Oh, transformation. So Venus, love, beauty, and money. So for love, for our career, for ourselves, that's that Venus energy. What do we need to transform? We need to transform how we're showing up. We need to transform what we're doing there. And the Capricorn energy strives for its own goals. It has goals that it wants to reach. It wants to improve. It wants to strive for more. And, you know, sometimes Capricorn, it can be a little bit self-critical, but in the ways that helps it grow. So this is time to reflect on how can you be of service to yourself, to invest into yourself in a proper way, and how can we begin to define where our boundaries are with other people, because the 8th house also deals with our connections to other people, especially when we either rely on other people or we're connected to them in some way. This is where we realize what our boundaries are with that and how to show up with strength, conviction, to be a leader and to show up with fairness also for ourselves, because Venus is also self-love. Having enough self-love to come through with boundaries, with a rock solid like Capricorn energy, where it's like, this is me. I know who I am, and I know how I'm going to show up in relationships. I know what I'm willing to, you know, do for other people, but I also know that I'm not willing to sacrifice who I am for anybody. I'm going to be me, and I have a right to be me. 100%. That is this. The Capricorn energy is showing up as that strong, strong, strong version of you, and knowing exactly your place in relationships and knowing exactly other people's place as well. This is not rescuer and rescuee relationships. This is not, I rely on you to provide me this. This is not, I'm going to suck and drain your energy, or I'm going to allow people to take advantage of me, or I'm like, no. No, 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 no. This is having enough self-love, self-respect, and boundaries, Capricorn boundaries, when it comes to your relationships and your connections and how people are allowed to connect with you and the role that they play in your life and how much influence they have on your life and all of that. So being more clear with those boundaries, this is your year of creating boundaries, my love. This is your year of a brand new beginning, finding your victory, finding your peace, finding your harmony, and no longer continuing living life for other people. This is living your life for you. Yes, you can have other people in your life, yes, but they all just need to be living the life for themselves. And then when we connect on that level, oh, that's when harmony is created, right? You can almost think about it as like that. There's those relationships that you learn about in science where it's like the pest relationship or something like that, and there's like a harmonious relationship versus a parasitic relationship. That's what it is. So when you're being the martyr and you're bending over backwards for people, that's when you get that parasitic relationship where people are just sucking your energy, sucking your vitality because you get to bend over backwards for them. No, that's when you literally will attract the vampire people, which are the people who will take advantage of you because you're the type of person who will bend over backwards for other people, who will people please. And in doing so, we will attract those people because our doors are open to them. But when we close those doors, when we create those boundaries, that's when we close that off. And that's where you're no longer going to get people like that, because immediately once you sniff out a person like that, you're immediately just like, nope, closed door, bye. And you don't give them your time and your energy because you know where that leads and you know you don't want that. So it's about creating those boundaries. Boundaries are so important. So anyway, that leads us to the end of this reading, my love. Thank you so much for joining me here today. That is what Spirit wanted to say. Their message for you for this next year, Spirit really wants you to take your life in your own hands and to live life for you. What are the things that you really want to do? Spirit is cheering you on, and Spirit wants you to pursue those things, right? Yes, it might lead to people disagreeing with you, but that's okay. Not everyone's going to agree with us, and we can't be a people pleaser anyway, because again, it's impossible to get everyone to agree with us. So even us being a people pleaser, still there's going to be disagreements. So we might as well just be living life for us anyway, being authentic, right? So that's that. That is the message. Thank you so much for joining me here. I also just wanted to quickly mention we just came out with brand new bracelets on LunaGem, which is my jewelry company. We have these amazing satellite bracelets, which are our new charmed bracelets. They are so pretty. We hand make all of our bracelets according to your wrist size so that they fit you perfectly. They're also made with really high quality gold fill, so they will not tarnish in water, which I absolutely love. So all the information for that will be linked down below in the description box if you want to check that out. And again, thank you so much for joining me here today. I hope this message helped you and was relevant for you, and I hope Spirit came through. So sending you so much love, and until next time, bye.